So what's up, guys? Today I'm gonna show you guys how to fume white oak and some Douglas fir. This is Douglas fir, nothing fancy about it. This is just some scrap piece of wood that I had laying around. And here you got some solid white oak. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and fume all that, and I'm not gonna fume this, just so you guys can see the difference and result. Here's some tools you're gonna need for this project. If you're gonna do a whole cabinet, of course, this is not gonna really be a big example for that, but this is just for you guys to see the results that you can get from fuming. You're gonna need a rag. You're gonna need a bucket with water, and I'm gonna go ahead and fume all these two pieces in that bucket. If I were to be doing a complete cabinet, what I would be doing is covering the whole cabinet with plastic, leaving about a 4 foot space between the cabinet and the plastic, so that the whole area could get fumed up with that ammonia. And this is what we're going to be using. We're going to be using 20%. Okay, I don't know if you guys could see it right there. Ammonium hydroxide. Okay. So that's what we're going to be using, and you only need a little bit. You don't need a lot. We're going to get an orbital. We're going to get an extension cord. This is solid wood, so it's a lot different from working with veneer. If you're working with veneer, you need a carpenter that knows what he's doing, and you need to make sure that he's not or she's not putting a bunch of glue all over the place, because that will come out. Okay, so that's pretty much it for what we're going to need. I'm going to go ahead and sand this and show you guys how it looks after. So for this, I'm going to be using 80 grit and let's see if I can get it, and 150 grit. Let's get to it. You want to get all this glue off right there. That's gonna show up if you don't do it. All right, after you're done with sanding, you can see the difference and how it looks. Okay, here you can see the marks the carpenters made, the glue, and what you want to get is something like this. It's clean. Okay, that's just watermarks right there. You're gonna want to go ahead and dust it off, and if you got a vacuum, again, that's what you want to use. If you're doing a whole cabinet, again, you got to make this, you got to think about this as if it's a whole wall, right? So you want to clean it up, vacuum it, and put some water in it. So one thing I'm gonna do is get a rag with water, and what this is gonna do is open up the pores so that the ammonia can actually start working in the pores, and it'll bring out the tannins that the wood has. This is white oak, so it has a lot. This is Douglas fir, so it's not gonna have a lot of tannins, but that's just an experiment that I'm gonna see what it does. So go ahead and get your rag, wipe this down. One thing you want to let it do is soak up and dry out by itself. You don't want to force this. If I were to be doing a whole cabinet, I would make sure that every single piece of it gets covered up, okay, in moisture. Because if you don't, what's gonna happen is once you actually put the ammonia on, you won't be able to get an even color, because the parts that don't have water, or at least the wet rag over it, that's going to be very noticeable, and that's something that you don't want, because you might not notice it before you put on the sealer, but once you finally put the finish on it, that's where everything will come up. So you want to go ahead, get everything a rundown, right? If this was let's say a cabinet door, I would give it 2 coats. Now I might be overstressing, but at the end result you'll notice the big difference. Okay, and just to show you guys how big of a difference it is, when I fume this, I'm gonna add this piece in just so you guys can see all this glue that the carpenters left, all these scratch marks that it has, just so you can see the difference and how clean this is gonna be versus that, and how this is its original shape and content, right? Nothing's been added to it. It's completely clean. What I'm also gonna do in the future for you guys is show you guys how to bleach wood, how to get a lighter color, how to get a lighter tone. But as of right now, I'm just gonna show you guys how to put this ammonia on this and that. Sanded, and the glue hasn't either, and it hasn't been wet, so I'm gonna use this for reference so you can see the color change. This has been sanded and wet with the wet rag. Same thing with this. This is a clean piece. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and put a piece of tape right here in the center, just so you guys can see how it actually looks with the ammonia working. You might actually see the ammonia actually go inside, because this is a chemical reaction that the ammonia does with the tannins in the wood. So it's not just like putting on a coat of gel stain or wood stain or any of that. So I'm going ahead and put that in there like this right here, and this right here, and I'm gonna go ahead put some ammonia in this cup and put it in there. All right, and before I do that, I want to make it clear that safety is first. Go ahead and get your respirator and get some new filters if you need them, and make sure you got something with the shield, all right, because this will burn your eyes, and it is really strong where you'll feel it in your lungs. If you got some glasses that are skin tight and no odors or gases could get in there, well, then use that in a respirator as well. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys how I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna talk because I'm gonna have this mask on. All right, guys, so again, once you're done, now everything's covered up and it's sealed tight. Okay, so no air could come in and out, no smell comes out. Go ahead and take your mask off. The whole point of this is just to have the air fumigate in that, and then start building up into the atmosphere and staining the wood with the tannins. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out in about 3 hours just to give you guys an example of how dark it gets. And obviously you could play with different shades, right? A certain amount of time, or you know what, I might even knock it down at the end of the once I open this up, I'll let you know how much time the wood was in there. But depending on the time, that's how lighter or darker it gets. um, Other than that, I'll I'll um I'll skip on to that part. um, just a quick tip. Obviously this is an example. If I were to be doing a complete cabinet, think of the can itself as this 5 gallon bucket as a plastic house enclosing that cabinet. And then just imagine it, it's all opened up and air's coming in and out, and that whole thing is covered with the plastic and it's completely taped up so no air comes out. And it's pretty simple. Okay, maybe if I have a picture of some of the projects I've done with this technique, I'll go ahead and just put it in here just so you guys could see. But that's pretty much it. All right, guys, so this here has been 2 hours and 30 minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and open it up so you guys can see how it looks. So when you open this up, make sure you got your mask on. So I'm gonna go ahead and put mine on. Alright guys, so here's the end result, and I'm going to go ahead and take this tape off so you guys can see that the ammonia actually goes under it. I thought it would at least prevent it from going in, but it didn't. So again, this is only 2 hours and 30 minutes, and you can see how dark it is from its natural state. This here is a piece of wood that didn't get its glue taken off, and here you can see the residue, right? So obviously if you're gonna do let's say a clear coat over this, that's the stuff that's gonna be coming out. Here on the Douglas fir, there's really is no difference. I mean, other than it just being sanded and cleaned up a bit, there's no difference. But again, this is a white oak. This is a natural look, and you can see that there's a major difference in color. Okay, and here we have, so obviously no wood is perfect. These are 4 pieces of wood glued on together, but here you can see that you're gonna get some without that much tannins inside, and this is what you get based on the grain and any, I guess, any tannins that the wood carries. But this is a good result on how ammonia can pretty much stain your wood, right? The only thing next would just be to add a clear coat over this and seal it up. One thing I might do just for fun is I'm gonna leave a piece of wood maybe for 8 hours in a 5-gallon bucket and just see how dark it gets. I got a couple more extras. I might even do this piece itself and compare it to this one. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. It's a quick little project, quick little way of doing a different stain work. To me, fuming with ammonia is a very good, easy, and it's a profitable way of making money. The only thing though is that maybe if you're working with stains, you can get away with some stuff if your finished carpenter isn't a good carpenter. But when it comes to fuming with ammonia, your carpenter has to really be good at what he's doing, extremely good, because any sort of detail that he does that he doesn't do right, you're gonna get a bunch of areas where stuff comes out. So, and it might not look as good as it should. But that's pretty much it, guys. Catch you guys later. I got more videos coming up about the contractor's license. it just takes a lot of time out of my day. And again, I'm constantly working, doing estimates. So, I try to do what I can. Got you guys later.